Hi, everyone. I'm Lisa Copeland, and I'm a dating coach that helps women in their 50s, 60s, and 70s find love again, or even for the first time at this time in their life. And today I have a wonderful guest with me. Her name is Ginny. Hi, Ginny.
Hi.
I'm so glad she's with us because Ginny found love. Actually, she found it twice, but now she's in a relationship, an amazing relationship, and she's going to share a lot of this with us. But I like to do these videos for you because it will help you see that you too can find love. So, Ginny, can you briefly share your story about how you got to this place of wanting to find a guy or the right guy?
Sure, Lisa. I was in a relationship since I was 17 with my ex-husband. We were married for 30 years, and he told me he had to get out of our relationship. And it only took me a couple of days to figure out that was a really good thing for me. But I had been in a relationship with this guy for 40 years. So I didn't, and 17 is different than 59. So being a science-based person, thought, okay, why don't I research what I should do and find a trusted person to teach me? I figured I had to learn how to date again. And I got all sorts of information, and Lisa was just so highly regarded that I signed on with her.
Well, thank you. And we'll talk about some of those things that came up for you. Like, first of all, what was your biggest fear about getting into dating at this age?
Well, I was very shy. I'm comfortable with people I've met a couple of times, but from being a 17-year-old and in one relationship, and I just felt very shy. And I didn't know how to flirt. When I was 17, I had to fend off men because I was 6 feet tall, blonde, and skinny. And that's a different world than being 59. And so I was so used to hiding my body and keeping my eyes down. And I knew that I was at a different place in my life. I also thought, I have another 30 years in me. I could have another love adventure. So I was perfectly fine on my own, but I happen to like men. So I thought, all right, I can apply myself. I'll learn how to do this.
So I cannot remember, did you try dating on your own first at all? Or did you come directly to me and start with the process of working with a coach first?
I actually signed up for a couple of free sites and was completely overwhelmed before I paid anything, before I even signed yes. I was getting deluged with men's texts, and I was totally freaked out because I was still shy at the time. Completely shut everything down, deleted the 2 places because I had researched that, thought maybe I could do that. And then I thought, nope, I need help. So I went to you.
So how do you feel working with a coach changed things for you on this journey?
Well, there were a ton of things I didn't know. As an alpha female who cared for her siblings from age of 5 on, to running departments in businesses, to becoming a medical professional and telling people what to do, that was pretty much my style. So I needed to learn the language of men and ways I just needed to develop the side of me that I never had the opportunity to develop, the feminine side. I didn't realize they speak a different language. They hear me differently. And so I did, in fact, learn another language. And oh my gosh, I cannot believe it still makes me giggle inside when I say, can you help me with this? Or I need your help. And every guy, 100% still stops, gives me their complete attention and helps me. I had never done that being an independent woman. I had always turned down help, which I learned later was emasculating, but I didn't know. I thought I was being independent. So.
Don't you feel, though, that this helped you be even more independent, knowing how to speak the language men speak?
It does. does, because developing that side of me, first of all, I want to be a whole balanced person. I want to be able to fit a situation. When I was a science teacher for a few years, I was telling kids, you don't act the same in school as you act in church, as you act with your friends. You have to be able to walk into a room and handle it the way you're supposed to. So I learned how to be opportunity appropriate. I get to control my life now. Whereas before I was dragged along with my ex-husband and I felt trapped and controlled, but it was easier than arguing and I didn't speak his language. So now, just recently I said to my partner, I said, I feel like I have nothing to look forward to except my knee surgery this fall. And he's called me back an hour later and says, we have 2 nights in Hyannis to relax and rest and walk the beach. And I'm like, all I did was say how I felt. And he was so happy to meet my needs. I never would have said that before. My whole life, I thought that he was supposed to know. And it was, my mother never taught me anything. So I thought they were supposed to magically know or they were defective. I can't imagine how much pressure that must have been. I mean, my ex-husband and I are very close friends because we share 2 children. And because I'm a very forgiving woman, but I really feel like I am leading my life.
Yeah. And it's kind of like magic with men. When you understand the language they speak and hear, it really is like magic. They truly do want to make you happy. And most women don't realize that. And like you said, we have a tendency to emasculate men because we think that I am woman, I can do this. And yet what we do is we take away what men want. It's in their DNA coding to give to us. It really is.
Mm-hmm.
So you came into my program and we worked together quite a bit. Besides understanding men, what do you think the other most important tool was that helped you get the guy? And then we're going to talk about the first relationship and how you shifted from that. Because a lot of people, they think they have to go out and find the one right away. But let's start with, what was the biggest tool that helped you get to even the first relationship?
Well, I think filling out all of, going through your modules helped me get my mind around what I was looking for. Although I found that I had to go back and redo it as I learned more about myself. So it was really a lot of self-discovery. What do I want? What do I not want? That helped. The group calls that you have and listening to other people, I'm like, okay, this isn't just me. A lot of people are shy. A lot of people are afraid. And you had guests, and especially the men were very helpful to me because they would talk about their side of things. And what a wonderful share that was. And you also gave places in real life to meet people. Oh, I remember as a shy person who always had her eyes down, because if I made contact as a teenager with men, they would come over to me. It was scary as a kid because I looked like I was 25. So I had the habit of that. You had me practice going to grocery stores and making eye contact and smiling. And I know that sounds small, but for a shy person who had lost her confidence, it was hard. And I made myself do it and I became more and more comfortable. And I think that actually helped me. I'm not shy anymore. Over 2 years, I developed a sense that it doesn't matter if I'm a little overweight more than I want to be. It doesn't matter. I'm still a good person. So I'm sort of owning who I am more. But that all came from all the parts of what you did. Loving yourself where you're at, and practice really helped. The practice of smiling at men. And I was horrified to go to my first meetup because I kept making myself look at people in the eye. And I remember I told you about all these 80-year-old men that I was walking with, because they were so nice and I knew that they were safe and they were lovely to me and they were thrilled to have my attention and listening to them. And you finally said, okay, it's good that you're not as shy now. Try people more your own age. And I was like, okay, the safety net is gone.
So you ended up meeting your first relationship
It's true.
at a meetup, and it was a practice relationship. Do you
Didn't
want
know it though.
but do you want to share why that was important? That it was okay you didn't meet the guy like you're with now the
Yeah.
first time around. Like, what did you learn from having a practice relationship?
I learned it was thrilling to have someone interested in me after, having a marriage stop. That was thrilling. And he was so lovely to me and he was interesting. And he also, because he used to be shy before he got divorced, he shared with me, okay, this is what you're going to do. Every time we go on a Sunday walk, you're going to talk to different people. And I remember thinking, oh no. And so he would say, time to go. And I would go to other people, start a conversation over and over again. So he was also, he was very sweet to me, but he wasn't a good match for me. But I didn't know that because I had no experience. I mean, all my life, one person. So I thought, this person likes me, that means we're a match. Then I realized I kept thinking about other stuff and it wasn't a good match because I don't need an introvert. I need someone who's comfortable and outgoing and self-sufficient and, I just like all that. Plus, I like being adored. I really, really do. I didn't have that for so many years. My partner never misses a day where he tells me that I'm spectacular. In New York City, he took me to New York City to see a play and with our masks.
Is this your boyfriend today or
yes,
the first one?
No,
Oh.
the old one took me nowhere. Nowhere. That's so not. I can't live that life in a just inside all the time.
Before you go to the new one, because I do want to ask you about the guy you're with now, who is a much better fit for you. I had you do a tool called a Quality Man Template, which gave you a clear vision of the right man. How do you feel that tool helped you feel empowered in ending that practice relationship, that you were in, that didn't know, but to ending it and to honoring yourself and feeling empowered? How did it help you?
Well, when I looked at it, there were so many things that he didn't have. I really wanted a self-sufficient man. I really wanted, I didn't even, when you only have one experience, I wrote limited stuff about what I didn't want, that I didn't like about my ex, but I wanted a sociable person who understood family and friends and gatherings and the importance of supporting your family and friends. He was so introverted. He thought friends were people he talked to on Facebook. If you're never going to see people or even phone call them, they're just somebody at the other end of a computer. I have very deep relationships with my friends and family, and so does my new partner. I didn't know that was not a thing. So I found it sort of accidentally. So I kept adding to my Quality Man template and realizing, okay, that doesn't work for me. I also can't live a slovenly life. I can't. I'm not a neat freak, but I like to be able to walk around without stepping on stuff.
So what happened was, from hearing what you're saying, is certain values were not lining up, which in the past you might have passed over because he was giving you all that attention. And when you have all that attention, which was such an important thing for you, for a while, it was easy to pass over what was missing. Yes. Do you feel like that?
Yeah. I thought if I gave, because I've been taking care of people for my whole life, I thought that if I showed him how to clean a bathroom, then he would maintain it. I could have cleaned that bathroom 3 times a day. Not my kind of life. I'm not set out. This is not how I want to spend my time. So I care about him. We're still friends, but I need a different life. I need a big life full of options and adventure. And I work in medicine, so it's a hard life these days. So I need to be able to play hard.
So your new guy, you ended that relationship by honoring yourself, realizing I'm settling if I stay here.
Yes.
And you took some time to heal. And
Mhm.
then tell us where you met your new guy.
Well, with your, I touched bases with you, took a little time, like you said. And when I felt like, okay, it's summertime, I think I'd love to, this is a perfect time to meet people outdoors because I'm very careful about the pandemic. And you had suggested that just don't even pay for places, just try OkCupid or whatever. So I looked at a bunch of people, I texted and talked to a bunch of people. Some of them were horrible. and I was like, this isn't gonna work. This is just, one man actually said to me, I can have 8,000 of you. And I'm thinking, this is a good time to go click. So I did. And I'm thinking, I don't need that guy. And there were a couple of nice people that I went out with. One I started a little bit of a relationship with, and he was nice. And so I did lunch dates and things like that with people, and they were all really nice. I realized pretty soon that I needed somebody that had had a marriage, because there's a lot of skills you learn by having a marriage. How to cohabitate is one of them. If you have no idea what it's like to share a life with someone, you're going to be unskilled. So I did have one guy that I liked a lot that had had lived with someone for 10 years, but he was a train wreck in other areas. So that didn't go. And then I met Mark just for, I still remember, he was like, what was your first impression of me? And I'm like, I was tired. I was grumpy. I was barely there. I was thinking, I don't care if he likes me or not. I just had a terrible day at work. And so I probably appeared confident and quiet. And that was not how I was feeling, but that's what he said I felt like. And he's smart, which I'm a real Sapphophile. I really love smart men. So he was smart and very gentlemanly. We met for a dinner date. And I was surprised because everyone else had been paying for me 100%. And this guy said, would it be okay if we split things? And I'm like, okay. And I was disappointed. I remember being disappointed, thinking maybe he doesn't like me enough. And then I remember reading an article about how you date affects how you are in your relationship and your marriage. And I thought, okay, fair enough. And he also split the distance between that we had to travel. So he was very fair-minded. And I still remember he asked, could he walk me to my car? And I thought that was sweet. And then he asked if he could sit in my car and we could chat for a while, get to know each other better. I thought, okay, he doesn't seem like an axe murderer. And then he asked me if he could kiss me, which no one in my life has ever asked me. And I was so charmed. I said yes, because for me, kissing matters. For me, it matters. If I don't like how you kiss, how the hell am I going to spend my life with you? So he was just great. And we hit it off. The man texts me 20 times a day. It's just awesome. It's just great. It's just, this is what I'm doing. How you feeling? That kind of stuff. So.
And where did you meet him?
OkCupid.
Okay. And then does he fit your quality man template? Does he have everything on there?
He does.
Yeah.
And more stuff I didn't think about.
So good. All right. From working with a coach, how do you think you got the guy as a result of, working together?
Well, I reached out to you after my relationship, and God bless you, even though I technically wasn't paying you at the time, but you are so supportive and so kind. And we had a relationship. You gave me advice anyway, just because you're wonderful. And I remember thinking, okay, she thinks I can do this. I can do this. And so I did. And with the OkCupid thing, I did okay. I think I joined the Facebook group afterwards of the graduates. That's been helpful. When I've had a panicky attack, I like put in something, this is what's going on. What do you ladies think? And they give, I don't assume somebody's going to give me the answer, but it's lovely to have support. It's just nice to share it with someone when you don't want to always call your girlfriends and say, he hasn't said I love you yet. What the hell do I do? That kind of stuff. So it's a tremendous support. It's a tremendous support.
And just to clarify, the Facebook graduate group, Ginny was in the Love After 50 group, the program where she learned how to date and how to find the right guy. And women, after they're done with that program, because they all are on the same page, they go into this of dating, and they're using the tools that I've taught them. They go into this Facebook graduate group, so you still have support even when you're done with the program. So I just wanted to clarify that. So I'm so appreciative you shared this. How old are you now, Ginny? You were 59.
63.
And how long have you and Mark been together?
A year on Friday.
So you were 62 when you found this love of your life. Yeah. And it is possible. So many women have concerns about body image, like you talked about. You had that, the shyness, and yet you found a man who absolutely loves and adores you just as you are, using what you learned from the program you were in with me, the group coaching program. So I want to thank you for being here. Is there any last words that you would like to tell the women out there to help them feel encouraged or inspired that they can do it too?
Well, I do think it's really important to have someone like you supporting and guiding, because I learned a lot. I learned how to speak a language that I was unfamiliar with, and I still struggle with. Once in a great while, he calls me Miss Bossy Boots, and I will have to say, what did I say? Because I didn't know it. So learning that, there are a lot of skills to learn about how to express yourself in a way that is heard. So I think that's really important. And I think there's somebody for everyone. There are a lot of nice men out there. Not all of them. I mean, I met nice people. They just weren't all for me. And I think everybody needs someone. So.
Well, thank you. And we want to keep hearing how your story goes. And I'm so happy for you. And I can't thank you enough for sharing your story with us. Thank you, Ginny.
Thanks.
Okay,
Bye.
if you decide you need some help, there's a link below for how you can get a complimentary call with me, which is where Ginny started this whole thing. And it's going to give you clarity on what you need to find the right guy, like Ginny needed. And so I'm sending love and hugs to everyone out there, and have an awesome day.